Welcome back to The Cinnamon Effect. I'm Kimberly Hand, and I'm here solo on the mic today. I am talking about how to live a non-toxic lifestyle. Hey there, and welcome to the Cinnamon Effect podcast. I'm your host, Kimberly Hand, and I'm thrilled to have you with me on this vibrant journey of discovery and growth. This podcast is your go-to space for embracing intention, where you'll find clarity on your unique path, deepen those meaningful connections, and unleash your creativity like never before. We'll explore how to build unshakable confidence and celebrate the beauty of gratitude, all while savoring the calm that consistency brings to our lives. Thank you for being with me. Let's sprinkle a little cinnamon into your day and make life sweeter, healthier, and more fulfilling. There are a lot of layers to this whole conversation, but I've been on this path for quite a while. I would say it's been at least 20 years, but so I feel like I've learned a thing or two about trying to detoxify my lifestyle. And I know it can be overwhelming. And my goal here today is to not overwhelm anybody. And I also don't want to shame you either into thinking that you are not doing what you should be doing. So don't think of it in that way. I think if we know better, we do better. And that's my whole point. And over the course of this whole journey that I've had, I have started here and now I have progressed so far into trying to eliminate toxins for myself, for my family, in my home, as far as my lifestyle and what I choose to do and spend my energy on. And so I am going to share with you my recommendations. These products, I would say every product on the list, I am not affiliated with in any way. It's just these are the products that I have tried and tested. And I think when it comes to non-toxic products, something can be very non-toxic, but it doesn't fit in for whatever reason. How you have to purchase it is more difficult, or how it actually is integrated into your life is not as easy as you hoped it would be. So then, therefore, it doesn't work for you. It's like when you're going to choose a workout or a gym or a place that you're going to exercise at, and it's really far out of the way. As much as you like that type of exercise, you are not going to make the effort to get there, right? So it has to be choices that can seamlessly integrate with your life. And so I'm going to go through everything from cleaning supplies to detergent to toothpaste to skincare. And I'm going to give you kitchen items. I'm going to give you some recommendations on things that have really worked for me. And maybe this is just to inspire you to go down your own road of what you want to achieve as far as a non-toxic lifestyle. And so I think it's a little misleading that am I non-toxic? No, not 100% of the time. There are definitely things that I do that I know are toxic. And I think we all have some degree of that. And so to give yourself grace and know that, again, when you know better, you do better. And you also are constantly kind of reworking everything to see how you can improve in certain areas. And, for instance, I color my hair, and that can be something that is considered toxic. Although I did the research and my hairdresser uses a no ammonia formula. So there are things that you can do that bring down the toxicity level of something that is important to you. It's important to me. I am a natural blonde. You may not have known that. And I went red, it's probably been about 15 years now. And I am starting to get gray hair, because I'm 45 and I don't want to have gray hair, not at this point. So I am still going to color my hair. That's just a non-negotiable for me. I do think women in general, we're kind of the worst offenders when it comes to toxic things that we do. And I know that's an unpopular opinion, but I think we're the ones that try the hardest, but we're also the ones that there's a lot of things being marketed to us that are toxic, like Botox, like, constantly getting your hair done, fillers, plastic surgery, like all of these things, alcohol, the mommy wine culture. There's all these things that are toxic, unpopular opinion, but they are toxic that are marketed to us as women. And we have to pick and choose what we are going to accept. If you have the willpower to not do any of that, I commend you. Not everyone is that way. Like I said, I do not do Botox. I never have. I don't have any plans to. I'm not shaming anyone who does. That's just not for me. But you have to consider the risks, and you have to consider all these things when you're choosing to do them. I look at everything as a health account, like a bank account. Am I depositing into that bank account, that health account, or am I withdrawing from it? So every single thing I do, if I stay up late, and don't get the proper sleep, am I depositing into the account or am I withdrawing from the account? So, Botox, alcohol, all of these things, are you depositing or are you withdrawing from the account? Now, if it makes you feel good, there is an element to that as well. I think if mentally, for your mental health, if it makes you feel better to do something, you do you, girl. Like, I have no problem with that. I just am here to kind of talk about it. I went down a little bit of a side street on this whole conversation, but I do think, when you start to look at everything in your life of depositing or withdrawing from this health account, I think it's surprising to see what you will and won't eliminate. And so, like I said, there are toxic things that I do. I go to a regular nail salon sometimes. And as much as I love non-toxic polish, I actually have no polish on today. I really do love that OPI Big Apple Red nail polish. Okay. I've talked about the red nail polish before. That is one thing that nail polish, it just looks so good. And so that's like one thing that I know that, okay, maybe it's not the non-toxic brand that I use, but I'm gonna do that occasionally, and I'm just gonna be like okay with it. I'm gonna give myself grace, and I'm just gonna do it, right? So, back on what I wanted to tell you about about living a non-toxic lifestyle. And I really think this is kind of concentrating into the home and what you put on your skin. I have been chemically sensitive to fragrance for a very long time. I can remember walking through the department store, Burdines. If you grew up in Florida, you know Burdines. It was probably 1986, 1987, something like that. And I remember being in Burdines, and the fragrance of the perfume department just hit me like a ton of bricks. And I can remember being young and instantly got a headache, okay? Now, this is something that it's gotten more pronounced for me over the years. I cannot be in a car that has one of those tree hanging air fresheners from like the dash. Like, I cannot do it. It literally sends me into brain fog. I feel like my face tingles. We're getting like really serious here. So the chemical sensitivity for me has always been strong, but it has gotten stronger over time. Case in point, I did a community service project for my son's school. I was homeroom mom, and this was one of my duties to do this community service project. We had like an Amazon wish list, and it was all these items that were self-care items that we were going to give to people that worked in nursing homes. So it was actually for the caregivers at the nursing homes. And we were putting together these bags. Well, I had everything from the wish list. Everything was being delivered to my house. So it was lots and lots of bath bombs and lotions and all kinds of stuff was coming to my house. I do not have a garage in my house. I live close to the beach. It's like a smaller property, and I do not have a garage. We converted that to a living space. which I'm so happy we did, but no garage. So all of these highly scented items were being delivered to my house, and I had no choice but to keep them inside my home. I think if I were able to keep them in a garage where I couldn't smell all that scent, it would have been one thing, but I had to keep them inside my house. Well, they ended up being there for probably all these items, and we're talking like hundreds of scented things, probably like a week or 2 weeks before I was able to, drop them off where they needed to go. And would you know, my face broke out really bad. I noticed I was getting like in the hormonal zone here, like on my chin, breakouts. I had extreme brain fog during that time. There were like physical things that I was noticing from having all that highly scented stuff at my house. So I say this because I think one of the things that to eliminate from your home are highly scented items. And I would say that your laundry detergent is one of the biggest offenders. And so I want to start there. I'm probably going to backtrack on some other things that I have listed here in my notes, but I have been using, and I'm giving you brand recommendations, but I do think you could also do your own research and find something that you like. But I have been using Molly Suds for a while now, and I love their powder. They have powder detergent. They have liquid. They do have pods that are like a plant-based material that just disintegrate. Um, they have a dishwashing pod that is amazing. Actually, the dishwashing pod is maybe my most favorite product of theirs. But I use their laundry detergent. I use their delicate wash for like silks and things like that. I use their stain removal. I use an oxygen powder that you can add to hand washings, your hand washing mixture, or you can add to the drum of your washer machine. And I have had like white t-shirts and tank tops that have, the stains have come right out of them and they are bright, bright white again. So I like absolutely love that product. I think changing your detergent is one of the most impactful things you can do in removing these toxic products from your home. So I love the laundry detergent. I think that that would maybe be my first step. And I really got serious about this when my son was a baby, thinking about the fragrances and things like that, because the fragrance was already bothering me. So I figured as a baby that it's definitely going to be bothering him. So Molly Suds is my recommendation for laundry detergent. I also use their dish soap. Now, on a previous podcast, this was like a while ago, probably like a year ago, I talked with my girl Sam Monis, and we talked about toxic products as well. And I said, I just can't quit the Dawn Power Shot. If anyone's seen that, it's got like this trigger. And I continued to use it for a while. Of course, I used the unscented, but it really had some like unsavory ingredients in that product. So I have finally switched over to the Molly Suds. I really, really like it. I really like the Molly Suds dish soap. I'm a fan of that. In fact, I had a shirt that had like an oily stain on it. And they say you can use dish soap to get the oil stains out of clothing. I actually rubbed the Molly Suds into the shirt. I let it sit and then I hand washed it and the oil stain came out. So that's like another plus for that soap. Sticking with the kitchen, cleaning supplies. I am using Branch Basics. I've been using them for a while when they first had their kit in all plastic. Now I think they have plastic or glass as an option. Love Branch Basics. I use their hand soap as well. I use their hand soap. It comes in a glass pump, and then you can get a container that will refill the soap. So it's like just like a refill container for the glass hand pump. And I love that. There's no scent to it. I love, love, love their soap. So these are all things that are like going on your skin. So I think the hand soap is a big one. The Branch Basics hand soap, love it, love it. In the kitchen, I want to talk about water because I think water is this is the building block of what we're doing, and trying to figure out the water was a little trickier, but what I came up with that works best for my family is that I have a whole house water filter. So, because, you don't want to shower in water that is filled with all kinds of God knows what. You can read about that, all the things that are in tap water. So I felt like a whole house water filter was the right move for us. We also have reverse osmosis, and I'm currently drinking Mountain Valley water that, because I love the Mountain Valley, that I dispense through a copper water dispenser. So the Mountain Valley comes delivered to my house in a glass, is it a half gallon? It's 2.5 gallons, not the 5 gallons, 2.5 gallons. And I put that on my copper water dispenser, which is made by Sertodo, Sertodo. I am obsessed with that thing. It is, first of all, it's beautiful. Also, drinking from a copper vessel is an Ayurvedic practice, which is supposed to be good for your immune system. So I'm loving this copper water dispenser. You should definitely take a look at that. I'm going to try and drop some of these links in the show notes for you guys. And you can always email me, but you should be taking notes on this episode because there is a lot of good information I'm giving here. So I have that Sertodo copper water dispenser. I have the 2.5 gallon glass Mountain Valley that I put on there. And so I have like a combination of good water practices, I feel like, in my home. I also have a Berkey water filter that is like, I feel like, in my doomsday prepping kit at my house. Also in the kitchen, your cookware, your food storage, all of that is so important. I think we all know that like using aluminum foil is not where it's at these days. So I like to use parchment paper. And for pans, I'm using Caraway pans. I love their cutting boards. I love their food storage, which is all glass. It's very beautiful. So I'm loving all of that. Like I said, I use parchment paper. When I'm baking, I use little parchment baking cups. So that, and I don't want to say I never eat takeout, and takeout primarily comes in plastic containers. But one thing I do is as soon as I get the takeout, I put it into a glass container, or I put it on a plate, or I put it in a bowl, and I take it out of that plastic container because I don't want to eat in the plastic container if I don't have to. So I immediately transfer it. And if there's any left over, I have already put it in a glass container, and then I can just store it in my fridge. I don't leave it in the plastic takeout container. I think that's an important note. And it's something like little you can do. It's really little tweak that you can do that makes a difference. Another thing, I had someone ask me. So I did ask for questions from you guys on Instagram. So I'm just going to pepper these in as I see them. How do you clean your fruits and vegetables? This was a big one. I don't have like a recipe, but I will say I get 6 apples at the store, put them in a big bowl. I will add some baking soda and some vinegar to it. And it's almost like a little science project because it immediately kind of gets active in the bowl. I just sprinkle a little baking soda along the top and then add a little vinegar. Kind of work it around with your hands. You will be amazed at the dirt and grime and sometimes there's like little bugs in there, and sometimes there's all kinds of little things that like come off your fruits and vegetables. So I would say use this. Everyone's got baking soda and vinegar at home. I feel like it's 2 household items. You don't need all these fancy sprays that they sell you at the store. Like, Whole Foods, you can get like a fruit and vegetable wash. Of course, you can do that. I think that if you're not going to do anything, you can do that spray, but you can also just make this concoction at your house and clean your fruits and vegetables. Another big thing that this was probably the hardest adjustment to make in my household because it was affecting more than just me. It was really affecting everyone was switching the toilet paper. And I switched to plant paper. It is brown and not white. Um, I will say I'm very happy with my decision. The toilet paper, actually never buy toilet paper at the store anymore. The toilet paper comes on subscription. I feel like that's an easy thing to do and figure out like how much you use in a month. So I think we get it like every 6 or 8 weeks. The plant paper comes. I never have to buy it at the store anymore, which is cool. Also, the Skinny Confidential has come out with a non-toxic toilet paper. I have not used that toilet paper with full disclosure. I'm just mentioning it here. It has an elevated feel. The packaging's cool. It's like pink packaging. But I'm so far loving the plant paper. And that was a really big adjustment for my household. So, another thing I want to mention is sheets, your bed sheets, okay? This to me feels like something that is really easy to do because guess what? You buy the sheets once a year, let's say. You buy it once a year and you use it all through the year, right? And you don't have to repurchase it. So and I have used this company for so long. I highly recommend them. It's Boll and Branch, Boll and Branch. And like I said, I am not affiliated with them in any way. I just love their product. Their sheets hold up really, really well. They don't come out all wrinkly. They actually are so, so good. The signature sheet set is amazing. They have amazing towels. But think about it. You are sleeping on these sheets 6 to 10 hours a night. And I would want to be sleeping on an organic cotton. And so the sheets were very important to me. Yes, they are a little bit more expensive. I mean, not bad, roughly, maybe you're paying a little bit more of a premium. Such a great product, money well spent. Also, my sheets have lasted over a year, but I do think like I like to refresh my bedding often. So the Boll and Branch, and they usually have a sale. I want to say, yeah, I feel like it just happened maybe in like July. So you can pick up those staples for the whole year in July. And they wash really well. Like I said, the towels are great. They have blankets and they have bedding and they have duvet covers and all the stuff. But I do think if you can switch out your bedding into something that is an organic material, that is the move. That is the move. And that's a big move to make. But I think that gives you a lot of bang for your non-toxic lifestyle. Makeup. Okay, I want to talk about makeup because, again, women were being bombarded with products that are not good for us. And I started using this company 10 years ago. It's called Crunchi, Crunchi. I started using it, full disclosure, that my dad's fiance is a ambassador for them. And I started using it because I wanted to get pregnant. I wanted to have a baby. And I was already on this journey and I really wanted skincare or makeup that I could feel good about wearing. I never wore a ton of makeup. So I thought if I'm going to wear makeup, it's got to feel good. It's got to feel healthy for my skin. I've got it on right now. I wear it. It's been such a great makeup. I love their Flawless Foundation. They have a new product called the Sunlight Tinted Sunscreen. I absolutely love it. I have stacked it against other products that I've used. This product is really, really good. I use their bronzer, use that for 10 plus years, and their blush. Their blush comes in like a little, almost like it looks like a lip gloss, but it's a blush. And so I really love that. I use RMS. There have been a couple of recommendations that I've gotten from Living with Ivy, and she has some stores and a website. And so RMS was one, and also Talk, Talk mascara. I have this really weird thing with mascara where virtually all mascara burns my eyes. Um, it's like at the end of the day when I'm tired and I'm rubbing my eyes, it burns me. So the Talk mascara is really great, doesn't burn my eyes. Love that. For skincare, I have found that I like so my facialist, shout out to Lisa, she makes a small batch skincare. And I know that, that's not easy to find and it's not easy to source. She does have a website. It's called Sophia's Elements. She makes a small batch skincare. A lot of it has oxygenated oils in it, organic things, and it's so, so lovely. I also love St. Jane. I love St. Jane, their Starflower Serum and their Luxury Serum. That's another great brand. I've been wanting to try their face wash as well. So I think with your skincare, these are the things that you are doing every single day. You're washing your face every single day. You're sleeping on bed sheets every single day or every night. And these are the things that you can really make a big impact with. Um, Toothpaste is a big one. I am a fluoride-free girl. That's a whole nother rabbit hole we could go down, but the toothpaste is something I'm passionate about as well. I use Boca, Boka, and Risewell. Those are two that I've used that I really, really like. They're more about like remineralizing your teeth. And so I think the toothpaste is another big switch you can make. But once you do it, it's like so worth it. Your deodorant. I have been using Agent Nature for a really long time. I still love it. I just recently switched to Corpus Naturals. Really loving that. I feel like in comparison to Agent Nature, it goes on really thin. It feels like a thin like swipe and it goes on more clear, whereas the Agent Nature felt like a little thicker. But like I said, I used that one for multiple years and just switched to this Corpus Naturals. You can do like an underarm detox, which I think is important. If you're still using conventional deodorant, you are probably going to want to do a underarm detox, which could be, you could have, there's like charcoal soap and different charcoal products that you can use to kind of detoxify that area and get it ready for the natural deodorant. It is a process. Give it time. Try different ones if this is, you found one that you ended up not really liking. Shampoo, kind of funny because I recently went to Sprouts and I tried this Avalon Organics clarifying lemon shampoo. Really dig it. I really, really like it. Shampoo is a tough one. I think there's a lot of stuff in shampoo, and I've tried some shampoos that claim to be more natural. I'm still kind of tweaking this. The one that I found the best is this clarifying lemon shampoo. I don't use that for every wash. I just use that when I feel like my hair is extra grimy. And I have like finer, thin hair. So the shampoo is something that I think you're really going to have to put your personal touch on and figure that out, what works for you and your hair type. But I do like the Avalon Organics Clarifying Shampoo. I got that at Sprouts, but they were out of it this last time that I went. So Sprouts, please carry it again because I do love it. Already talked about the hair coloring and the hair dye. If you can find a no ammonia formula or low ammonia formula, some of them will like disclose that. I believe the one that I use is Inoa. I should have my hairstylist on here so we can talk about it because she has used that for a very long time on me and I really love it. The color is amazing. It's funny, when I moved away and I lived in Utah and I didn't have access to my hairstylist as frequently as I would have liked. And so I went to just a regular old salon there and I was shocked. The whole process of getting my hair colored, again, I was sick for like a day. My whole forehead was red. I like broke out in a rash from the hair dye that they were using. And so I really do believe in that. That is another big tweak that you can make. So, you know, there's so many recommendations. I still have some more recommendations. I'm going to give them to you because this is so fun. Um, the sunscreen. So my son is like the pickiest human alive when it comes to sunscreen. But the sunscreen we're using right now, it's Kelly Slater's brand, the famous surfer, Freaks of Nature. There's no chemical fillers or microplastics. Their packaging is amazing. It goes on slick. It's basically zinc oxide, very clean. There's no scent to it. It has been a big winner in our house. I think the sunscreen stick is what an easy tweak. And my son will take the stick and he'll put it on, and it's like easy to administer. You're not getting that cakey white zinc oxide all over yourself. Love, love, love that sunscreen. We put it to the test in the Florida heat this summer, and it really worked out. Fragrances. So, like I said, I'm chemically sensitive. Conventional perfumes kind of send me into a tizzy of brain fog. It really does bother me. I found a couple that I can wear that have been transparent about their formulations, one of which is Henry Rose. Michelle Pfeiffer came out with that brand. You should really look that up and see. She is transparent. She's done a lot of work with like the major agencies that disclose the different chemicals that are in fragrances. So Henry Rose, I love. Jake's House is the scent I've been wearing. Dime Beauty. People literally stop me on the street to find out what I'm wearing. Dime Beauty has a scent called Tuesday Date Night. It's a Santal 33 dupe. Smells just like it. It's less expensive, and also it smells amazing. Okay. So I told you guys through my Instagram that I was going to be coming on today and talking about non-toxic products and how to eliminate toxic products from your home. And there were some questions from you guys that I wanted to answer as best that I can. Candles. Someone wanted to know about non-toxic candles. I do not really have a great recommendation for you because I think that, I had read somewhere, yes, you can get candles that have beeswax or soy and their wicks are cotton or wood, and, that makes a difference. But I did read something a long time ago that was saying, but you are still burning something in your home, and that is creating some kind of a pollutant anyway. So take that for what you will. I don't light a lot of candles in my house. I love candles for ambiance. So I think if you love them for ambiance, why not do the little battery-operated candles? You could do those. A lot of times you can't even tell a difference. As far as scents, I was, diffusing essential oils. I still love to do that. I kind of tapered off from that. I don't do it as much. But, and if there's something that smells, or I'm trying to clear like last night's, the dinner smell, when someone's cooked dinner in their house and it just smells like, I don't know, lasagna or something, take sage or Palo Santo and burn that and kind of clear the air. It also like kills germs. It's antimicrobial and it will like eliminate the germs. Also, if you have someone toxic that's visited your house, use that as well. Pro tip there. Air fryer. So someone else asked about an air fryer. I was using the Cuisinart air fryer until I heard that was not the best solution. I did order an Our Place, OUR Place air fryer. Full disclosure, I have not implemented that into my house yet. I've had it a long time and it's like still in the box, but I have heard that is a good one. It does. I did hear, I think about that one, that you have to replace the pan that it comes with. So maybe it's just like a stainless pan. I am tending to put a piece of parchment paper on the pan anyway when I'm cooking anything in the air fryer. So the Our Place air fryer is supposed to be really good. That is like one recommendation that I have not tried yet, but I'm just throwing it out there. Then someone asked certain brands or what to look for in general when detoxifying your home, which I thought was like a really great question. Unfortunately, I think it's not going to be the products that you're going to want to go for are not the mainstream products that are, at your Walmart. So I think you have to dig deeper. You have to do the research. You have to look at the ingredients. ChatGPT is actually like a phenomenal resource right now. If you don't know what an ingredient is, plug it into ChatGPT, see what it is, see if ChatGPT says it's toxic. So I've used that a lot actually lately in trying to figure out the, ingredients that are toxic and whatnot. So I think that's a great option. When in doubt, just check it out in ChatGPT. So, eliminating toxic products from your life. It is not an overnight thing. You are going to probably try. It's going to be trial and error. You're going to find products that really work, and you're going to try them out. You may have to go through a couple of iterations of trying different brands. I feel like that's how I got to these products that I just recommended to you guys. I hope you found it helpful. And I love this conversation because I'm always looking for new recommendations, and then I test them out myself. But these are some really good ones that I feel like have made a really big difference in my life. In general, eliminating toxicity from your life, I think this could also be, I do want to end on this note, is, really evaluate the energy of the people that you surround yourself with, the energy of the people that you let into your space and into your home, the things that you're watching on social media. If you're watching the news, like really evaluate all of that stuff, because that is also contributing to toxicity in your space, in your home, in your lifestyle. So, very important, kids. Stuff that you put on your skin, but it's also stuff that you're like putting into your mind and putting into your body. And just a little note as far as if you want to eliminate these toxic items from your home, and you need to get them out of your body as well. I think that there's a couple things that I do in my self-care practice that I think are really important, because even as hard as I try, we're still encountering toxic things everywhere we go. You go somewhere and they've sprayed the table with some kind of toxic chemical or cleaner. So how do we try and eliminate those toxins? There's a couple things that I do that I really believe in. Regular infrared sauna or traditional sauna, at least 3 times a week. Tongue scraping, detoxifying through tongue scraping. Oil pulling. If you don't know what that is, there's now a lot of oil pulling solutions that you can get, but you essentially swish around oil in your mouth. So if you don't get a solution that's already like pre-made, which there are companies that do have it, you can use coconut oil and you swish around in your mouth, and it's supposed to pull things like from your tongue and your oral biome in there. And you can do it for like 10 minutes and then you spit it out. Be careful not to spit it into your sink, but spit it in the trash. Rebounding, so good for lymphatic drainage. So you're really getting that stuff out of your body. Massage, obviously great for detoxification and lymphatic drainage. Staying hydrated. And an air purifier. I love using an air purifier in my house. There's so many good ones out there. There's some that will ozonate your space too. So those are some things that I do that just go hand in hand with my goal to eliminate toxic chemicals from my life and from my family and from my home. So I hope this episode was helpful to you. Hopefully you took some notes. Maybe you'll implement some of these things and let me know. Please let me know. And I feel like we could do a part 2 and a part 3 because there's still so much that we can address from all of this. So, guys, thank you so much for listening. And I will see you next time on The Cinnamon Effect. Thanks for tuning into this episode of The Cinnamon Effect. If you enjoyed our time together, don't forget to hit that follow button on your podcast app and sprinkle a little love by leaving us a 5-star rating and a quick review. Your support means the world to me. For even more goodness, check out the show notes where you'll find links to some of my favorite products. And don't forget to visit thecinnamoneffect.com to connect with me directly or to grab your TCE gratitude journal, your next step towards a more grateful life. I can't wait to spice things up with you again next time. Stay vibrant, stay inspired, and remember to add a little cinnamon to your life every day.